Thank you very much. So thank you for coming in this room. I think I can assume that everybody in this room, and also if you are watching the live stream, you care about diversity, especially in the Python community. That's why you're here with me. So thank you so much for that. You can keep the discussion with me on Twitter. It's welcome. I would talk a little bit about me. So thanks for introducing me. I currently live in London as a data scientist. In London, I'm very active in doing a lot of stuff. I try to, because I love the community, I want to contribute more. So I co-organize some meetups, including the AI Club for Gender Minorities. I'm so glad that I have two co-organizers here with me in EuroPython. I'm so happy, I love them. Also, I organize some sprints, which is mainly to be focusing on contributing to open source. So, so far we have sprints once per month, and so almost once per month. So it's a fun time. I love doing it. And also I myself contribute to a lot of open source libraries. It's a small contribution, but I think everybody can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Also, I created this Pix and Mix. Thank you so much. I have a designer. I hope I pronounced his name correct. It's Akvith. This designer created this logo for me. Thank you so much. That's about open source, right? It's like everybody contribute. So, okay, enough for open source. So a couple of months ago, I found this blog post which kind of get my attention. Why women are flourishing in our community but lacking in Python. So. Myself, my background as a data scientist, I started when I started to, doing data science, I was using R, but for different reasons, I switched to Python, and from there, I know that the Python community is lovely, and that comes to my, I think about why we have these problem, because the Python community is lovely. Why women are not enjoying Python as much as ours. So I need to have a look. So we see that actually we have more than 6 times more Python users than the R users, according to the Stack Overflow survey last year in 2018. So, but there's a lot of people using Python, right? Python is lovely, the community is lovely. But we only have 1.25 times more members in PyLadies than our ladies. So what happened? Is it really we don't have that much, female Python users, or female Python users are not active in the community? It's why the number doesn't match? And then also something worrying is for contributors, again, I contribute to open source, I would love to do more, but why R has 4 times more female contributor than Python? I was we are lacking in presence in contribution to open source in Python community. It's oh no, it's not good. Also, for networks, so as a meetup organizer, there's our ladies, there's 120 chapters in 40 countries, it's everywhere. But in PyLadies, we have less. We have only 45 chapters, active chapters in 12 countries. So I'm very lucky. I'm in one of the biggest cities in Europe. In London, we have PyLadies. And I know that there's also PyLadies remote, which is, is a remote is for everybody who's in the city that is, smaller city that doesn't have a PyLadies, they can join. But still, it's lacking. It would be great if we have more and more PyLadies chapter for women to network, to feel that they are not the minorities, they are not alone, they are also important in the Python community. So it's there are problems there. Also, it could be the problem is not a problem that that somebody want to make, right? Because there may be a fundamental problem that the users. If you think about the users, right? For R, I keep having different people. They have maybe they're statisticians. They come from an academic background. They say, oh, R is amazing. It's so easy to use, and all these. I was but Python is also amazing and easy to use. Have you heard about that? So there is actually statistic that is showing that actually most Python users, they're actually maybe from a more engineering, computer science background, maybe, most students in computer science, they maybe when they were in university, they learned, using C++. My first computer course that, I attend in university was actually using C++. And also Python, now it's getting more and more popular. As, this morning, Martin mentioned that in Basel, there's Python in education. There's like, now they're teaching Python in schools. So yeah, maybe computer science students, they have a lot of exposure in using Python. But for students that, maybe their discipline is like more like, math or social science, or even like economics, or even like journalism, because now data journalism is a thing, right? They may be using R instead of Python. So yeah, that's a really like a different demographic in the two language users. And we can also see that because, for different disciplines, we can see that computer science graduates, especially in the Western world, is mainly male-dominated. They're like, you can see like for these like statistic majors, they are like more or less, there's like half and half. There's like 44% women. But for computer science, it's only 19%. It's like, oh, maybe we should think about getting more girls to study computer science. Maybe that's the thing. So, yeah, there's also like a million questions that we have to attack, have to answer to help the diversity. Also, I have seen this Jupyter notebook that actually I can show you the notebook. Here, okay. The internet is slow at the moment. Okay, can you see that? Yeah, right. So if I zoom in, so this notebook is very, very good. Actually, the first time I came across it, was in I joined the non-focused DISC, mailing list, and then they were circulating this Jupyter notebook, because what they talk about is about the inequality in the leadership in non-focused projects. Yeah, PyData leadership is like, oh, it's like an inequality of, underrepresenting groups. And then they use a very scientific way. I won't show you the details. I will upload the slides so you can, check it out yourself. And they made this notebook, and I'm thinking about maybe I could change this data.json and I can do different research on it as well. So this is the result, right? And maybe I should switch back to the slide so it's easier to see. So they use that scientific method to show that how diverse is each project. So these are non-focused projects. I think this statistic is done last year. So there's some like new ones that is not updated, but anyway. So you can see that the inequality is going to be, actually how to look at this is like if it's lower, if you have a lower score like NDRAC, they are more diverse. So you can see that NumPy, PyMC3, they are not very diverse. I think these ones are the ones that, yeah, they got a score that's 1. So the uniqueness is 1. So they have only one gender as the main, contributor. So, so which gender I think is quite obvious and easy to guess. So you can see like from these. From the bottom ones, a more equal one, and you can see like our own size in it, some open journals. They are like, oh, you can see that there's actually like a domain difference as well. Like maybe things that are more numeric, more maybe physics related. They are less diverse. So yeah, that's very interesting. And also in that Jupyter notebook, you mentioned one idea which I think is very, very good. It's called active and passive diversity problems. So active diversity problem means that there are people or a group of members that they are toxic. They don't want the community to be diverse. And passive means that actually nobody wants it, but if nobody's do anything to it, then it's a fundamental bias in it, in the inequality. So I think it's my opinion that the Python community is having a passive problem. I haven't encountered any active problem in the Python community, very luckily. Yeah, I think that's even worse. Maybe, so like the other thing is like maybe in workspace we have a chance to face some active diversity problem. But in the community, I think so far my experience mainly passive problem. So yeah, so that means that we have to do something to improve it. Okay, so the previous information that I gave you is mainly based on a blog post that I see, and then also like I saw, and then also a Jupyter notebook that somebody did, which is amazing. So I tried to do something myself. This is a research that I did refer to last year. So I'm thinking about, because I've been to 10 conferences last year, very luckily. I enjoy every single one of them. But is there an imbalance of gender ratio in Python conferences? Because you can, like, I think it's quite obvious if you have a coffee break, if you go to the toilets. Here the venue is lovely, it's very big, so maybe this is less obvious. But if you go to a smaller venue, you can see that usually, outside the male toilet, there'll be a long queue, and the female toilet is like, I can go in, like, then there's like empty, and it's good in that sense. But maybe it means that it's not good in diversity. So yeah, so I try to do something. I try to see, is there like an imbalance? Like how, like it's obviously there's obviously like an imbalance, but how imbalanced is it? It's difficult to count the participant because I talk to people, but I can't talk to every single one of the participants. So okay, what's the easiest way to count? It's like, oh, maybe I should count the speakers because all talks are recorded. So it's very easy. And but I have to really say that this is not very accurate. Reason being, not all talks are recorded because some speakers, they may prefer it not to be recorded. Also, for the gender of the speaker, I didn't really do a research of like, researching on every single speaker, are they male or female or non-binary? I just based on the pronoun that maybe the chair used to describe them. So it's, yeah, if I made a mistake, that's difficult to avoid, but I hope this gives a general idea of how imbalanced it is. So this is the statistic. I hope it's clear enough. So you can see that, the blue bars are male, the red bars are non-male, so including female and non-binary speakers. So except PyCon UK, there is 75% of speakers are male. They are doing very well, but which means that there isn't enough non-male speakers. And why? Is it because when the call for proposal opened, there's like a lot of male submission? Because this year I'm in the programming work group of EuroPython, and I can see that there's a really imbalance. And then I think conference organizers they put into an account, they have the diversity mission in their mind, but still. This is difficult to achieve because in the submission there's already a very, very imbalanced demographic. And so how can we improve that? How can we encourage more diverse speakers, maybe not just gender, maybe speakers with different backgrounds to speak? So I will also talk about that later. But before I specifically talk about some suggestion that we could do in the Python community, I would like to talk about the diversity problem in theater. Because as a person living in London, I love going to theater. I'm very lucky that London is a theater city. So yeah, so it's like this is also a hot topic in London. Like theater goer or critics, they really like notice there's diversity problem in theaters. So maybe from learning from them, we have some idea of how we can improve. So I also read a lot about news and blog posts in theater. So this is one of the posts that I come across. is talking about, the best way to address the theater's lack of diversity. So yeah, there's a problem. So what's the problem specifically? Who's on the stage? It's kind of similar to my problem about conference speakers. So people on the stage is actually attracting people who will be participating. But like, for example, in London Theatre, there's a problem because some productions, they have a whole cast of 22 white actors on stage. So there's, for them, the more diversity questions they're addressing is maybe the ethnicity of the actors. So sometimes, a play, it could be a modern play, it could be the race of the actor is not the most important thing, but still, it's kind of very white-dominating business. And who is in the audience? Also, in London, I love London being such a diverse city. It's like 44% of the people in London, they're classified as BAME, which is kind of we can say they are like ethnic minorities. They are Asian, or black, So yeah, but still, if you are like a London theatre goer like me, you can see that if you go to the Royal Court Theatre in London, you can see most audience. Because my experience, I go to see a play. There's an Asian play. It's like almost all the cast are Asian girls, and then but still, because it's, the Royal Court Theatre is located in the very prestigious location in London, it's like in the audience, there's like still very like kind of white middle class dominating. So it's like and also, there's a problem in influencer. It's kind of like the leaders of theater, like who is making the decision, who are the artistic director of theater, who decided what production to put on stage, and all the critics, they will be like, their identity may kind of change the way how they judge whether this play is a good play or not a good play. So, this influencer, there's also not very much of them are from ethnic minority group. So in that blog post, also talk about the chicken and egg situation, because the writer, he mentioned that one time there's a play called Fella, happening in London, and his Fella is actually about a Nigerian singer. So like he's very popular in Nigeria, I guess. So when this writer at that time, he was like traveling in the cab, and a lot of the cab drivers in London, they are from Nigeria, and they mentioned to him that, oh, I love this play. I went to see that again and again and again. You can imagine a cab driver, they are not earning a lot of money, but they maybe rarely go to the theater, but because they're from Nigeria, their identity kind of give them like attraction to this show about a Nigerian singer. So they love the show, they go to see it again and again and again. So what's being on stage actually affect who is watching it or who is participating. But sometimes the problem is like, if your audience is mainly, as I said before, if your audience is mainly white, then maybe you want to have white actors on stage, because you have to attract people to watch it. But then it's become a loop, an unhealthy loop, that it will really stay into only one majority group and ignoring the minority groups, which is not very good. So also there's another article which is very, very interesting. It's about how to improve this situation, like how to make it more accessible for people from a different background. So, for example, it mentioned about the influencer, the people who make the decision, the gatekeeper. So nowadays in London, you can see that there's like in some kind of very famous theater, the artistic director of those theaters, there's like more and more people from the minority groups. They are being the artistic directors. I've met one lady. I think she's not white. But she is the artistic director of one of these famous theater. I think I really can't remember. But yeah, she's an artistic director, and I'm sure that there's a lot of artists that they are like talented artists in the minority group, and it's just like it's taking them like quite a long time. If we like kind of discover them, they may become driving these big wheel to go to different directions. So it's a good thing that they kind of changing now in London. And also in the theatre itself, there's accessibility. For example, in London now, I kind of enjoy that as well because there's always some kind of cheaper tickets, like £10 to watch a play in the West End, which is very, very good. So if you book early enough, you'll be able to enjoy some cheap tickets. So theatre has kind of become accessible for all, even though for people who don't have a lot of budget. Also, the theatre, sometimes the bar and the restaurant, they try to not always have expensive stuff. Maybe some kind of still more expensive than buying from a corner shop, but they try to make it not super fancy, not for people who are like in a dress and a suit to enjoy, which is good. Also, some accessibility measure was implied. For example, they have some sign language performance. So it's for people who are hearing impaired. They can enjoy the performance even though they can't hear. I've been to a production with one of the famous drama school in London, and they have two casts. One cast is the student, very talented student, and the other cast, which is performing with them side by side. They are actors that they use sign language. They may be deaf, but they use sign language to perform, which I think is amazing. It's amazing production because it's accessible for everybody. And also sometimes there's like audio described performance, including the one that I went to. For some stage direction, they would describe it. They would say it out because for people maybe they have sight impair, they could still enjoy the performance. And also, for example, accessible toilet and all this is for people who maybe have mobility problems. Also, and it's this one thing that a lot of places overlook, I think it's more popular in movies, is a relaxed performance, so the lights won't be totally dim. People are welcome to come in and out because maybe they are parents with kids, so like they can bring kids into the movie or bring the baby to movie. If the baby have needs, they need to care for the baby, they can go in and out, and everybody go to that screening. They understand that it's for parents with the baby, which I think is a good thing. I mean, like parents shouldn't be, pinned down to not enjoy this. So, okay, I will spend the rest of the talk talking about what we could do in Python community. Can we learn something from the theater, how theater improve? So in the blog post that I mentioned in the beginning, I also mentioned that PyCharm now is having a great improvement because you can see that by doing encouraging women to come to the conference, they have talks by women starting from a very low percentage towards 40%, which is really, really good. And this is PyCharm in the US, so I think in Europe we are doing that as well, which is very, very good. We need to carry on the momentum. Also, non-focus. You can see that they're both outside. They are an organization that is helping this, funding this PyData community. So you can see that they have also measures. They have this DISC committee, and they have all these mailing lists and discussion. I joined the mailing list, so that's why I receive informations. And also, they are giving diversity scholarships. So for people from the minority group, if they kind of have struggling to get a ticket, then they could maybe apply for scholarships to attend the conferences. Also, Jungle Girl is amazing. We had the Jungle Girl Day on Monday, which has been a recurring thing for EuroPython now. Every year they have this Jungle, kind of like a beginner's day to encourage women, especially, to start using Python and do something about Jungle, to build blog posts using Jungle. And it's translated to 12 languages. It's blooming. And then also, my friend mentioned, it's very empowering for women because Jungle Girl prefer, of course, they also have male mentors, but they prefer girls who have been, or women who have been to the, to be participant before, come back to become the mentor because, well, it shouldn't be always men teaching women. It should be, we shouldn't care about the genders, like who have experience teach the people who don't have experience. So, so in my opinion, for conferences, because I'm now involved in conferences a lot, so I have a lot of ideas. For example, childcare facilities. I think PyCon UK is doing it. PyData is doing it. PyData London is doing it. So I think maybe EuroPython, maybe we should consider as well because. Because you can. It's like those theater thing, right? It's like parents shouldn't be, they shouldn't have this mind that I have to care about my baby, so I can't go to the conference. Also, a diversity in topics. Again, how we can make the call for proposal more diverse is like maybe we encourage different topics. So. Like the academic, diversity, maybe people from a generalist background or a statistic background, they could also talk about their work. So we are not limited to one kind of a profession, one domain, or one topic. So people from a different background, like a different, professions, they can also, if their work related to Python in some way, then they could also present. And also, we should also put some emphasis on education. Again, we see from the university example, maybe we have to inspire more young girls to be, doing a more, a computer science or an engineering subject. So, also, I think we should go beyond the Jungle Girl workshop. Jungle Girl workshop is amazing, as I said, but I think it shouldn't be limited to one topic like Jungle, one framework Jungle. Maybe we should expand it to other topics, because now Python is not just used for web, web development. It could be used in all different types of stuff. So maybe, because I'm a data scientist, I'm involved in data science. So, and also Python is very popular in data science now. So maybe we should have something similar in data science to, have a workshop to encourage gender minority, especially women, to start their career as in data science. And also we should free the gender barrier. For example, we have people who are like, we have transcode, which in Palladium they have the transcode workshop that is for people identify as trans, or, it's more for people who have certain, identity. They could, feel that they're not alone, they're not minorities. They got support from the community as well. Also, this one, I love it. Non-gender labeled toilet. So last year in PyCon UK, and then they did a lot of work in this non-gender labeled toilet. So the toilet is labeled as whether you have a urinal or not. So it doesn't matter what gender, it's like what facility you're using. And also the T-shirts, it should, like my friend just told me in the non-focus guideline, if you organize a PyData conference, your T-shirt should be not gender label, should be whether it's like a straight cut or it's fitted. So it's about your body shape, it's not about your gender, which I think is amazing. And this is mainly for conference, but also we have other problems in the community, and we have to try to solve it. For example, maybe we need more female leadership and contributors. So for me, my idea is like maybe if I organize some sprints meetup, maybe I should have some, again, it's like Jungle Girl, some meetup that is mainly for encouraging people in a minority that you are not alone, you got support from the community, let's do it together. So to get them started, to get them, work their way towards the leadership or become a maintainer in the contributions. Also, for young people, and then in academia, or even not just young people, maybe for researchers, we have to maybe do some outreaching to tell them Python is a good tool. Let's use Python instead of R. So I only got 1 minute left, so I don't think I could take a lot of questions now here. But I have this survey, which you can give me some feedback. I remember there's some like free text that you could type whatever you like. Please be kind to me, and please give me feedback, because I hope this talk I could keep giving it, and maybe I can add more and more. Like, for example, some things like some opinions from my friend, or information from my friend, which I can improve this presentation. So I could keep raising the awareness, and I hope we can work together and make the community more diverse and better. So thank you so much. Yep, so.
I think we can, like, if anyone has one question, I think we can have a minute to spare. Or we can talk after that. Yeah,
you can grab me in the conference, or, yeah, the survey is always there, so please, your feedback I value a lot, so thank you so much.